Deep breath. Pull it through there. And 2 more seconds out. The jewelry ends that hit the floor. 2 jewelry's in. Now all we gotta do is twist a little ball on and then we'll pull it down, okay? In your mouth. Train. For you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This has probably been the longest time I have been away from YouTube ever, I think. So if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, today I'm going to be talking about my tongue piercing. I'm going to be talking about my experience, the pain, the frequently asked questions, everything like that. So this video has been the most highly requested video ever. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about my tongue piercing and everything like that. And before I get the video started, there's 2 things I want to point out. I actually took out my tongue piercing, I want to say a couple months ago. I want to say maybe in June. I was eating something and the ball on my tongue piercing, it cracked. So it's not like I could, twist it back on. So I had to take it out and I waited 24 hours before I put it back in. And it actually went through. I was kind of surprised. So it went through. It took a little bit of, pushing through, and then I went through the other hole and pushed it up and everything like that. But it went through. I did it a couple times and I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to take it out. Maybe I might get it re-pierced in the future, but right now I'm just going to leave it out and yeah. So I'm going to show you what my tongue looks like without the piercing and with the hole closed up. I can't even tell where. I was going to point out where the hole was. Yeah. And the second thing I want to point out are my eye contacts. I got them from Iris Beauty. The name of the color is Lagoon Blue and they look like this. But I think they look more green than blue, in my opinion. I'll leave their link down below so you guys can go check them out. And I also think I have a discount code. I'm not sure, but if I do, I'll leave it down below. So now I'm going to get to the video, and I had plenty and plenty of questions, and they're all on my phone, and hopefully I answer majority of them. There's probably some I'm gonna remember later on when I'm editing a video, and you know what, if you guys have questions, please leave them down below. I will try my best to answer all of them. So the most asked question on my tongue piercing was, did it hurt and what was the pain scale from 1 to 10? Honestly, it didn't really hurt that bad, but on a pain scale of 1 to 10, 1 being it didn't hurt at all to 10 being it hurt like hell. I want to say it was maybe a 3.5 to a 4. And I also have a really high pain tolerance, so maybe a normal person, I don't know, maybe like a little bit higher. But it didn't hurt that bad, to be completely honest with you. So the next question is, what was the worst part of the piercing process? The worst part of the piercing process, I want to say, was the very beginning, was the clamp. I had to stick my tongue out and he had to put this metal clamp on my tongue, and I don't know why it hurt so bad, but it's the webbing right here under my tongue. The webbing was so sore because he kept pulling it out, and like I tried to stick my tongue out as far as I could, but he just had to keep lifting up to see if the marker was in the right place, and to see if the clamp was fitted correctly. Pretty much that was the worst part of the healing process too. It was so sore, and like my jaw was sore too because I had to open my mouth and all the tugging and stuff. So that was pretty much the worst part. The third question is, what was the healing process like? So the first day of the healing process was not even that bad. I was eating popcorn and donuts and, just solid foods that you really should not eat when you first get a tongue piercing. The healing process, in my opinion, wasn't even that bad. And then the second day, It got, I don't want to say it got worse. That's not what I'm trying to say. It felt more swollen than day one. That's when I couldn't really eat donuts and everything like that. So I try to eat, soup. But no, other than that, the healing process wasn't that bad for me. I know plenty of people who say that it was terrible. They would never do it again. And I don't know, I felt like I could eat a steak dinner afterwards. So it all depends on the person. So the next question is, did you have a lisp? I want to say when it was swollen, I had the lisp, and I actually had questions about, when it was all like healed, was I going to be able to talk normal again? Was I going to eat normal again? Because I remember during the healing process, I was just kind of like, wow, this is weird to get used to. Am I going to eat the same again? I had those types of questions. But I want to say the lisp, I had no lisp when it was healed. It was only when it was swollen. But no lisp. And if you have a lisp when you get your tongue piercing, even when it's healed, that means your piercer did it wrong. So just letting you know. And when it was healed, I ate normally. Nothing was different. Sometimes I'd forget that it's even there. So there were some questions on the comments of my piercing video, and everyone was saying, oh, he numbed her tongue before he gave her something to numb her tongue. And, so that's why she didn't make a face, because it was numb. Like, no. When I got my tongue pierced, he did not numb it. I didn't numb it. The little thing he gave for me to put in my mouth was mouthwash to, because all the bacteria in my mouth and everything like that, you don't want to get that in the piercing, so you want to clean out your mouth beforehand. And honestly, it tingled a little bit. I wouldn't say it was numb. I want to say it tingled a little bit. But definitely it did not numb it at all. So the next question was, what was the blue dot on your tongue? The blue dot is to indicate where to pierce. So you look at it before you pierce it, and you can determine if it's, off to the side a little bit or not. Because instead of just going like with the piercing with no dot, and then you look at it, you're like, wow, that is way off from the middle. So that is just like a precautionary thing you do. I know people were asking, does the blue dot go away? And yes, it goes away. It takes maybe like a day or two. It comes off with like mouthwash, or just like fades away because of your saliva. Like, it goes away. I forgot to add to the tongue piercing pain. For me, there are two types of pain, piercing pain. I want to say one is pressure pain and one is piercing pain. Best way to describe it is pressure pain is when you take your skin and like pull it, and then piercing pain is where you take, a thumbtack. Is that what they're called? Yeah, a thumbtack. A needle. There we go, a needle, and you prick it on your skin. That's what piercing pain is. At least with all the piercings that I had, all were pressure pain, but this was different. The tongue was a lot different. I want to say the tongue was a piercing pain on the top. On the bottom, it was pressure pain. Kind of felt like an actual needle going through your tongue, but at the bottom, I didn't really feel anything, which was really... Do you remember when I got that piercing, my butt twitched? So there are some things that I do want to add now since it's closer to the end of the video. These are just thoughts and, things I wanted to address before I end the video. Just because I didn't really think of them before, like, duh. Since I had other piercings, I want to say I've had, 7 piercings, and hopefully more in the future. But I had 7 piercings, and I want to say that my tongue piercing was, I want to say the tongue piercing was the second least painful piercing I had. So I want to say this was all for today's video. If you guys have any questions or left some questions out, please ask in the comments below. And if you have a tongue piercing story that you want to say, then leave it down below. Or if you want to answer some questions about tongue piercings and help me out, I would really like to hear some of your piercing stories. So if you guys have any piercing stories, comment down below. I'd love to read them. And make sure you guys follow my Instagram. I didn't make a new one. I changed my name on there. So if you guys do want to follow my Instagram, I changed my name and it will be down below. I think it's the end of the video now. And I want to say that I love you guys so much and thank you so much for watching. So I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye! Mwah.